to my malaria presentation made by DylanMarshall. Malaria parasites are microorganisms that belong to the genus Plasmodium. There are many different species of Plasmodium, but only 4 major ones have been known to naturally infect humans. The first one is Foliarium, found in tropical regions, especially in Africa. The next one's Vivax, found mainly in Asia, South America, and certain areas of Africa. The next one is Oval, found mainly in Western Africa as well as the Western Pacific Islands. Then the last one is Malaria, which can be found worldwide. Vector information. The main transporter/vector of malaria is the mosquito. There are about 3,500 different species that have the ability to transmit malaria, but all belong to the group called Amphiphils. Though there are so many different species that are able to spread the parasite, only about 40 are able to effectively transmit malaria to cause major damage/death. There are a few characteristics that a mosquito population must have in order to effectively spread the parasite. One is an abundance. There needs to be a high number of mosquitoes in an area. The next one is longevity. The mosquito needs to survive long enough for the infected blood to get to the mosquito's salivary glands. Next one is capacity. The mosquito needs to be able to carry enough parasites to infect the next human it comes into contact with. The last one is contact with humans. The species needs to prefer feeding on humans and need to live in a close area to human population. The life cycle of malaria. The life cycle of malaria takes place in 2 different hosts, humans and mosquitoes, and begins with the mosquito feeding on a human's blood and injects sporozoites into the human's bloodstream. Inside the human, sporozoites infect liver cells. The sporozoites mature into schizontz. Schizontz rupture and release merozoites. After the merozoites undergo asexual multiplications, merozoites infect the blood cells. These blood-stage parasites are responsible for effects/symptoms of the disease. Inside mosquitoes, mosquito ingests infected blood cells. Parasites multiply inside the mosquito, sporogonic cycle. The parasites then generate macrogametes and generate zygotes. Zygotes become motile and elongated. They invade midgut wall of mosquito and develop into oocysts. The oocysts grow and rupture and release sporozoites. The sporozoites then make their way to the mosquito's salivary glands. Symptoms of malaria would be fever, chills, sweating, headaches, nausea, vomiting, body aches, enlargement of liver, increased respiratory rate, general malaise, weakness, enlarged spleen, and mild jaundice. The progression of malaria, times of symptoms and death may vary between ages of hosts. Time of infection is when the mosquito bites the host. Incubation period varies between different people and usually is somewhere between 7 and 30 days. You become symptomatic, which means you get the symptoms 10 days to 4 weeks after the initial infection. Death is extremely variable. People die of different reasons when infected with malaria. There are also different strains of malaria which can take days to kill a person or even as long as months. People can also take different treatments for recovery. Mainly hosts with weak and developing immune systems die or have extreme symptoms. Questions. Treatment for malaria. The treatment for malaria is a combination of anti-malarial medications which include chloroquine, antiquine, propranolol, anthimer, lumefantrine, methylquine, quinine, quinidine, dioxine, etc. Who's most at risk? People who have little or no immunity to malaria, such as young children and pregnant women or travelers coming from areas with no malaria. Who recovers? People that are above the age of 5, have more developed immune systems and are more likely to be able to recover. Also, people that live in areas that are able to afford or have access to antimalarial medications are more likely to recover faster than people without them. Who dies? People with weak immune systems, such as pregnant women, children, older people, are more likely to die of the disease. How many people die each year? Last year, 2015, more than 438,000 people died of malaria, mostly children in African regions. What region of the world is most affected? The areas that are most affected by this disease are subtropical and tropical regions, which are located around the equator. This is because the vector for malaria is more prominent there. Mosquito. Some ways to prevent spread of malaria: installing protective bug nets in homes, spraying inside of walls of houses with insecticides to kill mosquitoes, give anti-malarial treatments to areas that are more at risk of contracting malaria, regular blood tests to identify and quarantine infected people, and prevent spread. And then there's just a few little pictures. And then the sites I used were cdc.gov, who.org, and www.map.ox.ac.uk.